And welcome, sports fans, to today's roundtable, and glad you joined us for today as we are now halfway through the football season and the regular season. Unbelievable that it's gone by this quickly, but we are halfway through the regular season now after Week 5 in Missouri high school football. I believe Arkansas just a week behind after 4 weeks after last night, so it's gone by quickly. And I think it's gone by about as good as it could be. I know some teams had to sit out and cancel a week or a week of play due to basically roster shortages, due to safety requirements, that sort of thing through the pandemic. But good to see high school activities going forward and competing across the area. And we'll be touching on the Week 5 matchups here momentarily. Also, we'll touch on some highlights of the Doniphan-Dexter broadcast we brought to you Friday night, and also we'll give you some headlines from the area last night and notable performances in the area in high school football, and also we'll touch on our broadcast schedule, the remainder of our regular broadcast schedule coming up, and also we'll give you a little heads up to college football, big-time college football getting underway this weekend with SEC football. That's the big thing to look forward to this weekend as conference play gets underway in college football. So let's go ahead and get into some of the action from last night. Let's take a look at the game that we brought to you live here on YHC. Friday night it was Dexter over Doniphan, 26-7, as Dexter notches their first win of the year on their home turf last night. And pretty contested game throughout, but Dexter closing out in the end with a victory, getting their first win of the year. We'll touch on that highlight. Let's go ahead and touch on that highlight from last night. Let's take a look. And here we go here. First off, Doniphan driving, little pitch, and taking it into the end zone for the first score of the game. Doniphan gets on top in the first quarter. Dexter here answering with a drive of their own. Or actually, this is Doniphan pinned back deep in their territory. A blocked punt or a tip punt. Downs it at the 14-yard line, and just a few moments later, all day looking for Ryan Collier in the end zone for the first score for the Bearcats, as Collier had a big night, also all day passing. And we see here Rios getting a nice run up the sideline for the Dons, and we see here Dons at the quarter break switching ends here. And going to be a fumble here inside the 10-yard line, picked up by the Bearcats. They recover, so a great field position for the Bearcats after the fumble. And here we see All Day dropping back, looking down the field, and hits Ryan Collier for another touchdown. So 2 touchdown passes and 2 receptions for Collier and All Day in the first half. And here we see in the second half, Driscoll breaking away on 3rd and 17. All Day finds him. He finds the pylon. Driscoll for the touchdown. Great effort there to finish off for that score. And we see here in the fourth quarter, the ball tipped up and caught by Ryan Collier for the touchdown. Little deflection little deflection there for that score, but nonetheless impressive execution there, or at least for the highlight there, for that touchdown for the Bearcats. So the Bearcats secure their first win of the year and also their first win on their home turf. They get the field turf now at their stadium at Charles Bland Stadium. And congratulations to the Bearcats getting that win last night at home in Dexter. And take a look at some other games. The game that we brought live to you on our website at yhctv.com. That's Piggott and Manila. Piggott getting that victory big at Parker Field, 60-6. Piggott Mohawks get another win and off to a pretty good start there in Piggott. I think they go to 3-1 on the year. Their only loss coming to Highland a few weeks ago. Last week got a shutout victory over Mark Tree and secure that win over Manila last night. So Piggott moves to 3-1 with that win last night, and we'll talk about when you can watch that replay here on YHC. And we got Scott City over Malden, big 54-21. Scott City Rams answer with another win last night. Got a win last week over Portageville, game that we had here on YHC. So Scott City's had a few good weeks on the schedule here. Also, we've got Hayti over New Madrid County Central, big 64-33. The Hayti Indians over the New Madrid County Central Eagles, and Hayti rolling once again through that schedule. New Madrid pretty good this year. two high potent offenses there, but certainly the defense was enough for Hayti to secure that 31-point victory over the New Madrid County Central Eagles. Also, we've got Kennett over East Prairie. Kennett travels East Prairie, securing another big victory, 51-6. Kennett extends their undefeated season on the road in East Prairie. East Prairie looking to have a pretty good year this year, especially on the ground. But Kennett, one of the top teams in the area, once again this year, getting another road victory last night. And also we got Farmington over Cape Central, 37-14. The Farmington Knights victorious over the Cape Central Tigers. Also, we've got Sykeston over Jackson. No problem for the Jackson Indians last night, 71-0. And the Indians roll once again, and it looks like they're just going to run away with that SEMO North title. I think they've beat all their SEMO North opponents. I think at this time, if I'm not mistaken, they've beaten Cape Central last week, Sykeston, and I think they beat Poplar Bluff earlier in the year as well. So I think they may have on their way to secure that SEMO North title there in Jackson. And Windsor over Portageville last night, 35-14. Windsor over Portageville. And Kelly over Crystal City. Kelly having a nice year, putting together a nice year. They win 49-0 over Crystal City. So those are the games from last night in the area. We did see some teams hold out due to cancellations, that sort of thing. I believe it was Poplar Bluff was traveling to Rolla. I can't remember if they were traveling to Rolla or hosting Rolla, but either way, that game got canceled. So the Mules off the board last night in the schedule, but we'll see them probably back in action next week. And talking about the games that we had last night, you can watch them replay here on YHC. Look forward to Doniphan versus Dexter. That'll replay Saturday here, Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Actually here momentarily, probably around 1:30 or so. Then watch it Sunday at 4. You can watch that anytime online at yhctv.com or even our YouTube and Facebook pages on demand on our online platforms. Check that out online. And the Manila and Pickett broadcast, we brought that live to you on yhctv.com Friday night. You can watch that this evening, Saturday at 6 p.m. and then Sunday at 7. And we'll also have it probably, if not Monday, Tuesday at 6:30. So plenty of opportunities to catch that. We've also got the Raw broadcast, the Raw without all the additions that we make to it for the television broadcast. You can watch it, the Raw broadcast, live broadcast online at yhctv.com and our YouTube page online. And that is week 5 in the books. We're going to take a break and come back with those notable performances in the area. Some performances made, certainly some headlines in the area for week 5, and we'll be back with that coming up.
If you or your loved one has disabilities that cause you to need a little help, Boot Hill Area Independent Living Services can provide the assistance you need. At Bales, we want you to have control of your life and assist you in thriving in an independent lifestyle. The Consumer-Directed Services Program allows you, the consumer, to choose who assists you in conducting your daily activities. Bales serves Stoddard, Dunklin, New Madrid, and Pemiscot counties. Call or visit our office in Kennett to see how we can help you maintain your independence.
Coming soon, the Harry Blackwell family of dealers will launch the future of automotive buying in Southeast Missouri.
And welcome back, and now let's take a look at some headlines from the area last night. And as we talked about in our first segment, and with the highlight, Dexter securing their first victory of the year over Doniphan, and some big performances in that one. We saw, as we saw in the highlights, Alday and Collier linking up for multiple touchdowns on the night. 3 touchdown passes for Alday in that contest, and then also we've got 3 touchdown receptions for Ryan Collier, although 2 of them were targets of his. Another, he got off a deflection off a target to another receiver, but a big night for Ryan Collier. Might even be in the running for that SEMO ball Player of the Year once again this week. He'll be right up there with other notable performances in the area. He won that, I think, going back 2 to 3 weeks earlier in the season. So Ryan Collier having another big night all day, getting some nice passes down the field. Dexter's offense had a hard time getting going at some points, turning some drives on downs, turning over on downs, but getting enough done to get the win. And certainly behind All Day and Collier getting the win last night for the Bearcats. And I believe Dexter moves on to Caruthersville next week at Caruthersville for Dexter versus Caruthersville. So that'll be a SEMO Central. I believe that's a SEMO Central conference game there for the Bearcats at Caruthersville next week. And also talking about Pigot's win, big win for them as they got a 3A3 conference victory over Manila. So now the Mohawks getting into their conference schedule, that very tough, competitive 3A3 conference, and looking so far so good for the Mohawks. They are at 3-1 on the year. Their only loss coming to Highland, which I believe, I can't remember back, it was about a 36 to 32 or 36 to 34, I believe it was a loss, or 38-34. Just a couple of weeks ago to Highland, who's a 4A opponent, and now getting into their conference schedule. Mohawks looking really good, putting some points on the board, and we'll see how they fare in their weeks ahead in their conference schedule. So toughest part of the schedule up ahead for the Mohawks, but certainly a great start so far, currently at 3-1. And also some big news this week out of Pigot. Pigot's football coach Michael Harrell has been reassigned from that coaching position. They released, the Pigot School District released that Monday or Tuesday earlier this week, I believe it was. And just a statement regarding the reassignment of Michael Harrell from that coaching position as the head football coach. He's not going to coach anymore for the year, as well as not attend any practices or games. And also being reassigned from the athletic director position. And no further information other than that, but Don Simmons, the offensive coordinator, has been named the head coach for the remainder of the year. So don't have any more to report on than that, but that's pretty significant news from the Pigot School District this week concerning the Mohawk football team. But got the win last night, moving on to week 5 ahead for the Pigot Mohawks. And Kennett, another big win for the Kennett Indians over East Prairie. And they go to 5-0 on the year and dominant each week so far this season. Much of what we saw last year as well. So Kennett looking really good so far this year. And Bodie Ellis having a big night for the Indians last night, having 250 passing yards, including, I believe it was 150 yards rushing on the night. So over 400 yards of total offense for Bodie Ellis last night. And that includes 5 touchdown passes. Linked up with quite a few receivers for the Indians last night. So the Indians are rolling, and Bodie Ellis certainly having a big night for the Indians. Very aggressive defense last night from the Eagles, East Prairie Eagles. Really wanted to shut down that run game. I know Coach Jamerson talked about in the post-game interview that they came in wanting to shut down the run, which is a very potent running attack by the Indians, led by Jordan Jarrett. So a lot of, and certainly Bodie Ellis as well, which he still even had a big night on the ground with 150 yards. But, really wanted to come in, commit to shutting down the run game, which Kennett really tries to get started with. But certainly going to the air last night to negate that defense, that effort to shut down the run, and looking downfield and making a lot of plays downfield was Bodie Ellis. I believe he went 10 of 14 passing and 250 yards. So a big night for Bodie Ellis, both in the air and on the ground. So that just shows you how potent this Kennett offense is, being able to go to the air, as we saw Bodie Ellis do last night. So Kennett rolls once again, and they will host New Matter County Central next week, and we'll have that here on YHC. We'll touch on that in a moment, and should be a good one there at Mets Cherry Stadium Friday night in Kennett. But the Kennett Indians go to 5-0, no surprise, as they continue their dominant season. And the Jackson Indians rout their SEMO North opponent once again, the Sykeston Bulldogs. I believe that was 71-0. And no problem for these Jackson Indians. Much like the Kennett Indians, it's like the Indians of the North, the Indians of the South. The dominant teams in the area. and Jackson's certainly dominating their conference and their schedule over the last number of years, and getting a big win and another dominant victory over Sikeston. Some notable news there: Kel Welker, their All-State, two-time All-State quarterback, senior, was suspended for the game Friday night. The only release on that is that he was suspended in violation of team rules. Nothing other than that, but Kel Welker setting out and still getting the dominant victory last night over Sikeston. So I'm sure we'll probably see Kel Welker back in the mix going forward, but certainly just shows you how deep and how talented this Jackson Indians team is. Your two-time All-State quarterback setting out, no problem. That machine just keeps rolling as Jackson Indians roll to another shutout victory last night over Sikeston. And we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back and show you our football broadcast schedule. Also touch on some college football matchups that are taking place over the weekend, even some NFL football, and we'll come back with that coming up.
A few days ago, we had a customer come by the Kent dealership looking for a new truck. I had a really good visit with Phil and our salesman. Phil had his Army t-shirt and Army cap on, retired military. We're so proud of our troops, our active and veterans like Phil. Phil left in his new truck. We all enjoyed the visit. Best price, best service. Glenn saying, God bless our troops.
This is more than a bundle. It's more than a combo deal. It's not just stuff. This is your home, your car. And you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance. State Farm agents get it. It's why they're here.
In Dexter, talk to State Farm agent Chris Brannon today.
And welcome back, and let's take a look at our football broadcast schedule going forward here on YHC. Next week, the October 2nd, we're going to be hitting October by the end of this week. Unbelievable how the fall is really progressing along. New Manor County Central at Kennett. We're going to bring that to you live on Channel 21 here on New Wave, as well as YHCTV.com and Facebook Live, all of our online platforms there. So check that out Friday night. We'll be back in Kennett for that live broadcast. Then October 9th, we've got Kennett at Dexter. Another SEMO Central Conference matchup. Kennett at Dexter, we'll have that here live on 21 as well as all 9. And then back in Piggott for Walnut Ridge at Piggott. That's a 3A3 conference game. We'll have that one live on the website, yhctv.com. Then later on the 16th, we've got Perryville at Dexter, live on Channel 21 and online. And then another 3A3 game. We've got Hoxie at Piggott. Hoxie, very, very good team. A couple of Division I commits on that team. And catch that one live on the website on the 16th. Then the 23rd, we've got Sikeston at Kennett down at Mess Cherry Stadium, live on Channel 21 as well as our online platforms there. And we're going to skip the 29th, I believe, or the 29th or 30th. So we're off that week. We'll have an off week of broadcasting. And wrapping up on a Thursday night on the 5th, we've got Corning at Piggott for the Rice Bowl. And that'll be live right here on Channel 21 as well as YHCTV.com and Facebook Live. So we'll be carrying the Rice Bowl live to you right here on Channel 21 on November 5th. So that's the regular season games we've got left on the schedule. Like I said, we're halfway through the schedule now. 5 out of the 9 weeks in the books. 4 more weeks of regular season for Missouri. You got 5 more weeks, I believe. Actually, 6 more weeks. They got 10 regular season games in Arkansas. We've got 9, including a first-round district game, which is pretty much everyone gets 10 games for sure in Missouri. So quite a few games left, but halfway over through the regular season as we are right now here late in September. And let's touch on some college football games taking place today. Big weekend for SEC football getting back underway. So a lot of eyeballs on the networks today for SEC football and also Big 12 football. taking a look at some Big 12. Kansas State taking on Oklahoma. Kansas State at third-ranked Oklahoma. We've got fifth-ranked Florida at Ole Miss in the SEC. Also, we've got 23rd-ranked Kentucky at eighth-ranked Auburn in the SEC. We got 24th-ranked Louisville at 21st-ranked Pittsburgh. Mississippi State at 6th-ranked LSU. 8th-ranked Texas at Texas Tech. We got 22nd-ranked Army at 14th-ranked Cincinnati. West Virginia at 15th-ranked Oklahoma State. 4th-ranked Georgia at Arkansas. The Razorbacks getting a big-time test to open up their season at home against 4th-ranked Georgia. That one's on at 3 o'clock on SEC Network. And Georgia 28-point favorites in that one in Arkansas at Fayetteville this afternoon. Also, the Missouri Tigers got a handful. They draw 2nd-ranked Alabama to host. Missouri hosts 2nd-ranked Alabama. That'll be at 6 o'clock on ESPN this evening. Alabama 29-point favorites in that one at Missouri. And Missouri, certainly they went to it all just conference schedule this year, dropped the non-conference games. So Missouri dropped, I believe it was BYU and Middle Tennessee State. I believe those were the two opponents they dropped in the non-conference, and they picked up Alabama and LSU, certainly top 6 programs right now in the country. So it's quite a contrast between the drops and the additions to the Missouri schedule. So that schedule just got a whole lot harder, picking up Alabama and LSU in their conference schedule. So Missouri hosts Alabama 6 o'clock this evening on ESPN. Also, we got Vanderbilt at 10th-ranked Texas A&M. Florida State at 12th-ranked Miami, interstate rivalry there in the ACC. Also, we've got 16th-ranked Tennessee at South Carolina. Other notable games, that's pretty much the notable games for the area, or for college football for today. So look forward to those games this weekend in college football. Exciting that getting back into the mix for college football. I know that's college football is always a big deal in the fall. We just had to wait about a month for the SEC schedule to get underway. So it's good to see that. Good to see some big time college football. We've had some college football, just not the big-time conferences, certainly with ACC, Big 10, Big 12. We did see some ACC action over the last couple of weeks, but certainly the Big 12 and SEC getting underway, and we'll also see the Big 10 get underway here in October. I think they're looking for a start time at some point in October, and there are even words that Pac-12 might even be considering getting underway at some point over the next month or so. So we'll see about that. But it's good to see the SEC back into action this weekend. And let's take a look at some NFL games this weekend. We already had our Thursday night game. Dolphins defeated the Jaguars 31-13. Fitzpatrick had a big game in that one. Ryan Fitzpatrick had 2 touchdowns. 160 yards passing in that one. Pretty impressive. And other games for this weekend, we've got the Bears at the Falcons, the Rams at the Bills. We got the Washington team taking on the Browns. We've got Titans at the Vikings. The Raiders at the Patriots. Should be an interesting matchup there. Raiders off to a great start at 2-0, and the Patriots look really good with Cam Newton at quarterback at 1-1. That'll be an interesting matchup there at noon on Sunday. The 49ers at the Giants. The Bengals at the Eagles. Both teams there 0-2, the Bengals and the Eagles. The Texans at the Steelers, an AFC matchup there. The Jets at the Colts. The Panthers at the Chargers. The Buccaneers at the Broncos. The Lions at the Cardinals. The Cowboys at the Seahawks. Then Sunday Night Football is the Packers at the Saints. And then Monday Night Football, the Chiefs at the Ravens, which could be a preview of the AFC Championship game this year. The Chiefs and the Ravens, I think they're the 2 top teams in the AFC expected by the end of the year. Although there's some other teams competing quite well in the AFC so far. But I think by the end we'll see the Chiefs or the Ravens be the top 2 seeds in the conference. And this game Monday night in Baltimore could could decide who might get that home field advantage in the playoffs come late in January. So we'll see what happens there. Baltimore currently 3.5-point favorites in that game against the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs Monday night. Should be an exciting game there. And that's pretty much the rundown for the weekend to look forward to in football. Very exciting. Everything getting underway with the big-time college football, NFL underway for a few weeks now, and high school football's done quite well. I know over the summer leading into the school year, there's a lot of anticipation to what the season would look like if we even have a season for one. But if we got started, we play a few weeks and then call the season after a few weeks. But I think this is about as good as you could hope for. It seems like, pretty much for nationwide, the COVID cases in schools across the country at a very low level, certainly at a manageable level for school districts across the country. And we've seen some teams have to cancel some games due to kids sitting out from school and, of course, from practice and games. So rosters being a little short, and certainly have to keep that in mind with football being such a physical sport, not having backups and replacements for those players. It's certainly a safety issue there, not having kids overwhelmed with the physical play, having to play so many snaps, certainly on both sides of the ball. But we've seen some schools have to cancel or take off a week due to roster shortages. But I think it's been, I think last week was probably our biggest week of that. We only saw Poplar Bluff, I think, in the area having to sit out this week. Looks like I think Crothersville sat out this week as well. So, Crothersville, I think they sat out this week and last week. So taking a few weeks off there in Crothersville. So, we'll see what happens. I think it's gone about as good as it could go, and just keeping the ball rolling. And that's across all sports. We've seen that in volleyball and the fall baseball and things like that. Everything's going pretty well, and hopefully that will continue to be the case for the remainder, not only the fall sports season, but hopefully we'll make progress across the board going through the 2020-21 school year for these sports seasons. And that's all we got to bring to you for today, and we appreciate you for tuning in as always, and we'll wrap up the roundtable today, and we'll see you next week to bring you more sports content right here on YHC. And until then, take care, everyone.